has forced close to 2 million people to flee their homes, and another 7 million struggling to attain basic necessities such as food and even water. And yet, despite these staggering numbers, this crisis is happening without the knowledge of a majority of the world, especially the Western world. So we're here today to shed some light on this issue, and we're going to do this in the form of a panel discussion. We have here this evening many experts in their own right from various fields, and it promises to be an overall very engaging evening. So again, I'm excited that you're all here. I am pleased to be your MC for the evening. My name is Kevin White. I am a recent graduate in the Department of Sociology at the UBC, at University of British Columbia, and there, while I was there, I was an International Leader of Tomorrow Scholar and an active participant in my community. Before we get into the meat of the matter, I would like to acknowledge that we are on the unceded territory of the Coast Salish people, and we are really grateful and very grateful to be offered the privilege of being on their land. So without further ado, we'll get into the program. To begin, we will have some opening remarks and the singing of the Canadian anthem by Giovanni and Solomon. Giovanni is the president of the Students of Caribbean African Association Club at SFU, and Solomon is the president of the Voice of Uturi. This is an organization which promotes journalism and academic work that is happening in the Congo. And he's also the vice president of the African Students Association at SFU. So welcome them to the stage.
Hello everybody, I hope you're having a good time. Events like these are very important. We have to ensure that we end the silence, and at times we have to use our platform and enable these discussions and have this happen. And we have to thank Luke Malembe for giving his time out to come and be a part of this. Before we start, we're going to go ahead with the national anthem. As Kevin said, I'm Giovanni Hassan of the Students of Caribbean African Ancestry Club at SFU. And Solomon is the Vice President of ASA. Start the anthem. Just gonna sing, everybody stand for the singing of the national anthem of Canada. Congo Crisis. Will be also giving out something at the end of the event for our end of semester event at SFU, so can ASA. But yeah, have a good time today.
Thank you so much. So these are very talented young men, not the best of singers, but still talented young men in their own right. Okay, so moving on, we will be having some, we have with us the Tatiana Vizcaya. She's the Vice Consul at the Venezuelan Consulate in Vancouver, and she will be sharing with us some of the experiences of the people of African descent in Venezuela, because even though for people of African descent, Africa is our homeland and our motherland, we are still a part of a wider diaspora of peoples existing in different parts of the world. And she will be coming up here to share with us experiences of some of our brothers and sisters in other places in the world. So thank you so much, Tatiana, you can come up.
Hello. Buenas tardes a todos. En nombre de mi gobierno y el mío propio, le doy las gracias a la Asociación de Estudiantes Africanos de la Universidad Simón Fraser por invitarnos para aprender sobre la situación crítica que está ocurriendo en la República Democrática del Congo y a la vez darnos la oportunidad de compartir con todos ustedes sobre los logros alcanzados por la revolución bolivariana sobre los afrodescendientes en Venezuela.
Good afternoon. On behalf of my government and my own, thanks to the Association of African Students of the Simon Fraser University for the invitation to learn on the critical situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo and for the opportunity to share the achievements of the Bolivarian Revolution on the people of African heritage in Venezuela.
Los afrodescendientes en Venezuela. Durante el comercio transatlántico de esclavos, cerca de 100.000 esclavos africanos fueron llevados a Venezuela y su trabajo alimentó una economía agrícola basada en el café y el cacao. La esclavitud tuvo un gran impacto en la historia y en la demografía de Venezuela, e incluso después de que fuera abolida en 1854, la libertad no trajo igualdad. El racismo persistió durante todo el siglo XX hasta hoy y se negó la herencia africana haciendo énfasis en la mezcla racial.
Afro-descendants in Venezuela. During the transatlantic slave trade, nearly 100,000 African slaves were taken to Venezuela, and their work fueled an agricultural economy based on coffee and cocoa. Slavery had a great impact on the history and demography of Venezuela, and even after it was abolished in 1854, freedom did not bring equality. Racism persisted throughout the 20th century to this day, and the African heritage was denied with an emphasis on racial mixing.
Los afrodescendientes en revolución. Las reivindicaciones de la historia de los afrodescendientes en Venezuela siempre han sido enaltecidas en la revolución bolivariana, la cual se cimenta sobre los principios culturales y sociales basados en el rescate de la identidad, valores y creencias ancestrales del pueblo venezolano, así como la herencia y la lucha y la dignidad de la defensa de la historia de la afro-venezolanidad. Creemos en la no discriminación y en la inclusión y en la igualdad y en la equidad.
People of African descent in revolution. The reclaim of the history of Afro-descendants in Venezuela has always been explored in the Bolivarian Revolution as educational institutions to teach about the history of Afro-descendants and prohibits the media from transmitting messages of discrimination against indigenous and Afro-descendant people.
Tenemos desde el año 2011 la aprobación de la Ley contra la Discriminación Racial, la cual se materializó gracias al impulso de las organizaciones afrodescendientes en Venezuela, quienes han venido impulsando iniciativas para proteger y empoderar a los afrodescendientes. Esta ley prohíbe Esta ley prohíbe organizaciones y actividades que promuevan la discriminación racial. Exhorta al Estado a garantizar el derecho a la participación política, económica, social y cultural para todos los venezolanos. Promueve la tolerancia y el respeto por la diversidad cultural.
Approval of the law against racial discrimination in 2011, which was materialized thanks to the support of AFRO descendant organizations in Venezuela, who have been promoting initiatives to protect and empower people of African descent. This law prohibits organizations and activities that promote racial discrimination, urges the state to guarantee the right to political, economic, social, and cultural participation for all Venezuelans, promotes tolerance and respect for cultural diversity.
También en el año 2011 se creó el Centro de Saberes Africanos, Americanos y Caribeños, un espacio de investigación y formación de la cultura africana que tiene la finalidad de promover la integración productiva, lingüística y cultural entre nuestros pueblos para revalorizar la memoria histórica y colectiva de los nexos ancestrales en función del crecimiento y bienestar de los pueblos de origen africano.
Also in 2011, creation of the Center for African American and Caribbean Knowledge, a space for research and education on African culture that aims to promote the linguistic and cultural productive integration among our peoples, to enhance the historical and collective memory of the ancestral linkages based on the growth and well-being of the peoples of African origin.
Inclusión de afrodescendientes en el Censo Nacional a partir del año 2011. El Censo Nacional realizado en el año 2011 fue el primero en permitir que las y los ciudadanos se identificaran como afrodescendientes, un paso sumamente importante en el aumento de la conciencia y en la visibilidad de esta población, arrojando como resultado que aproximadamente el 54% de la población venezolana posee raíces africanas.
The national census conducted in 2011 was the first to allow citizens to identify themselves as Afro-descendants, an important step in increasing awareness and visibility of this population, spreading as a result that approximately 54% of the Venezuelan population has Afro-descendant roots.
Creación del Consejo para el Desarrollo de las Comunidades Afrodescendientes en el año 2012, que tiene como misión fortalecer las medidas nacionales y de cooperación regional e internacional en beneficio de las personas de ascendencia africana, en relación con el pleno disfrute de los derechos económicos, culturales, sociales, civiles y políticos, y la promoción de un mayor conocimiento y respeto de la diversidad de la herencia y la cultura de estas personas.
Creation of the Council for the Development of Afro-Descendant Communities in 2012, whose mission is to strengthen national measures and regional and international cooperation for the benefit of people of African descent in relation to the full enjoyment of economic, cultural, social, civil, and political rights, and the promotion of greater knowledge and respect for the diversity of the heritage and culture of those people.
Igualmente, desde el año 1999, la política exterior de Venezuela dio un giro importante en su relacionamiento internacional.
Likewise, in 1999, Venezuela's foreign policy has taken an important turn in its international relations.
La nueva reconfiguración política del proyecto revolucionario impulsó los principios del multicentrismo y pluripolaridad, fundamentales para la unidad, el desarrollo y la integración entre los pueblos de toda África, entre los pueblos de la América toda, Esto dio inicio a nuevos escenarios de protagonismo y participación activa hacia la concertación de nuevos aliados en el mundo que ha permitido el impulso de la integración entre países y la cooperación de nuevos organismos para la complementariedad, aspecto fundamental de nuestra lucha antiimperialista.
The new political reconfiguration of the revolutionary project promoted the principle of multicentrism and pluripolarity, fundamental for the unity, development, and integration among the peoples of the whole America. This gave rise to new scenarios of protagonist and active participation towards the inclusion of new allies in the world that has allowed the promotion of integration between countries and cooperation with new bodies for complementarity, fundamental aspects of our anti-imperialist struggle.
Solidaridad regional, el ejemplo entre las adversidades. La Alianza Bolivariana para los Pueblos de Nuestra América, ALBA, promovió en octubre del 2014 una campaña de lucha regional y mundial para hacer frente al virus del ébola, causante de la muerte de miles de personas, principalmente de la África Occidental.
The Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of Our America, ALBA, promoted in October 2014 a campaign of regional and global struggle to deal with the Ebola virus, which caused the deaths of thousands of people, mainly from West Africa.
Este acontecimiento es el más grande que se haya registrado durante los últimos años y continúa afectando a diversos países del mundo. El organismo latinoamericano y caribeño aprobó a través de los medios cubanos los procesos logísticos sanitarios que permitirían frenar el virus antes que tomara nuevas dimensiones.
This event is the largest that has been registered in recent years and continues to affect various countries in the world. The Latin American and Caribbean organization supported through Cuban doctors the sanitary logistic processes that would stop the virus before it took on new dimensions.
El presidente Nicolás Maduro, respondiendo al llamado del secretario general de la Organización de las Naciones Unidas, de la Organización de las Naciones Unidas y la Organización Mundial de la Salud, instó a los países miembros del ALBA a sumar todos los esfuerzos necesarios para enfrentar la epidemia, asegurando que tenemos confianza mutua entre países y gobiernos para combatir el ébola.
President Nicolás Maduro responded to the call of the Secretary General of the United Nations and the World Health Organization, urged the member countries of the ALBA to join at the necessary efforts to confront the epidemic by ensuring that we have mutual trust between countries and governments to fight Ebola.
Como podemos observar, estas leyes y políticas promovidas por el gobierno bolivariano en beneficio de las comunidades afrovenezolanas han tenido como fin último resaltar la relevancia y el significado histórico que tiene la afrodescendencia en nuestro país, consolidando la presencia de los valores africanistas, de la negritud y de la diáspora africana.
As we can see, these laws and policies promoted by the Bolivarian government for the benefit of Afro-Venezuelan communities have meant as their ultimate goal to highlight the relevance and historical significance of Afro heritage in our country, consolidating the presence of African values, of Blackness, and of African diasporas.
Para finalizar, el comandante Hugo Chávez, durante una entrevista en el año 2005, expresó que el odio en mi contra tiene mucho que ver con racismo. Por mi boca, por mi cabello rizado, estoy muy orgulloso de esta boca y de este cabello, porque es africano.
To end, Commander Hugo Chávez, during an interview in 2005, expressed that, quote, "The hatred against me has a lot to do with racism. Because of my mouth, because of my curly hair, I am very proud of my mouth and this hair because it is African." End quote.
Más recientemente, el presidente Nicolás Maduro dijo: tenemos que sentirnos orgullosos de ser cimarrones. Es la cultura de la alegría, del amor, de la rebeldía, que se enfrentó al odio, al esclavismo y al racismo, al tiempo que convocó a la reunión nacional en función de erradicar toda forma de discriminación en el país que aún existe. Toda forma de discriminación en el país que aún existe, con la promoción de una nueva cultura de igualdad, especialmente a través de los medios de comunicación. ¡Viva la afrodescendencia! ¡Viva la afrovenezolanidad! ¡Viva África! ¡Viva la República Democrática del Congo! ¡Viva la patria grande! Muchísimas gracias.
More recently, President Nicolas Maduro said, quote, "We have to feel proud of being untamed. It is the culture of joy, of love, of rebellion that faces hatred, slavery, and racism, while calling on the National Union to eradicate all forms of violence and discrimination in the country that still exists, with the promotion of a new culture of equality, especially through the media. Long live Afro-heritage, long live Afro-Venezuelan identity, long live Africa, long live the Democratic Republic of Congo, long live the great homeland."
Thank you so much. We definitely felt her passion both in Spanish and in English. We could give them a round of applause. Thank you again, Tatiana, and her translator. So, we're moving speedily along. The next item will be a song by Mike August. He goes by the stage name Josie Riley. I hope I'm saying it right, Mike. Josie. Okay, so good. He's also from Jamaica, which is my home country. And he'll be gracing us with some, I believe it's a reggae item. So I'm excited to hear this. And I'm sure you all are excited as well. So make him welcome to the stage. Josie.
Yes, yes. Yes. All right. The AFRO justice is going on all over the world, and in the motherland of Africa, we have to stand up strong and throw dominance in the stand, because we have the quality to do it. Bring it on. Oh yeah, can you hear what we say? Each and every day, I say, when I take a look around, what do I see? Happy separation and tribulation, I want down in the Vatican. Black against black, over there in the Congo. I'm black against black. Why can't we live like one family? I said, why can't we live and love each other? Unity's a must, no mother with no fuss. One God, one aim, one destiny. That's why I say, don't take no life, slice your brother throat. Don't take no life, shoot your sister down. Don't take no life, slice your brother throat. Don't take no life. Talking about this fighting, in it to read. We're talking about this fighting. Down there in Congo, I say there's bullets flying, children dying, there's children dying, bullets dying, down there in the Congo, over there in the glory, down there in the Congo, over there in the glory. I said, no, we don't need it no more. I say, when I take a look around, what do I see? A place separation and tribulation of one. Down in the glory, a black against black. Over there in the Congo, a black against black. We got to stick together. We got to stand up stronger. We got to come together. We got to stand up for stronger. I say, take it on down. On the bring it down. Oh yeah.
I can sing on that track. Anyone want to hear me sing on that track? No? But you can catch me after the event. I'll be making my debut. I haven't thought of my stage name as yet, but catch me after the event. So now we'll be hearing from Pastor Chaka. Pastor Chaka is the pastor of Maranatha African Mission Church in Burnaby, and he will be speaking a bit about how the crisis in the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, how this crisis is affecting the community, both here and also back home in the Congo. So welcome, Pastor Chaka.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. My name is Chaka Kimono, as she said, and I'll be speaking briefly about the crisis in the Republic of Congo. And when I was told to speak, I was wondering in which mood I will be speaking, as we're speaking about the crisis in Congo. Am I supposed to be happy? Be excited about the opportunity, or to be crying? Because I'm here because of the crisis of Congo. I'm here because about what happened in our Congo, the land of our mother. Historically, we know that we get the independence in 1960, but for sure Congo have never get independence. No freedom at all. In the books, yes, it's written, but there is no peace, no freedom. And that's why we are here for, especially people from Congo. And because of what happened in Congo, we continue living in misery, we continue living in poverty, we continue struggling because of that problem that happened in Congo. Yes, I thank God for being here today. I'm alive, my family. But mentally, spiritually, still the crisis in Congo affects me. And not only me, also Congolese who are here. Imagine when you know that your father, your mother, you don't know if she will survive tomorrow, you don't know if they will have bread tomorrow, you don't know if they are going to wake up tomorrow. How it affects your life wherever you are. And that's what is happening now. We are here physically, and thank God we can have bread, we can have sleep. But still we are affected because of what is going on in Congo. For some of us, we have parents, we have uncles, we have great parents in Congo. But most of them, they are not in their native places. They are all over in Congo. And still they don't know if they're going to survive because the political situation is really bad there. There's no government, no security. The poverty is on high level. And always it keeps us thinking, about them wherever they are. We are lucky to be here. We can go to school, even have job if possible. But still, for the children we have here, there's this sense of shame because they are not proud of the country of their great parents. They are not free to go back home and enjoy the freedom that other people that can enjoy. While other children they can be proud about their country, but from our children they are not happy, they are not proud about their community. They are not free to go back home and enjoy the country. Because the country is under siege, the country is being led by other people which we don't know. Last time I got a call, someone asked me, you are lucky you are there. Is there any way you think that one day our country is going to be free and to have liberty? Is there a way you can look for people to speak on our behalf? Because we are suffering back home here. And I said, I don't have a response on that question. And when I was told to come here and share a little bit, I was wondering what I'm going to share. I don't have a solution. I don't have means to help people be coming here so that they can understand really what's going on in Congo. And especially when we know that the people who has power, the people who has men, are the same people who are helping people to go and crush other people, if I can say that. This big government are amongst people who are leading bad our countries, and we are here, we don't have the way to tell them if they can help. The mother was saying that most of people, they don't understand how the problem it is in Congo. And I don't think that they don't understand, especially people who have this power to govern. They know everything. They know everything, they know the situation, but they ignore to help, they ignore it to intervene. The country, we know that it's rich, it's among the richest countries here on earth, but people are living in poverty. Why? Why? Congo is among the richest countries here on earth. They have gold, they have diamonds, and other things. But the way people are living there really is something that is horrific. And I want to end here by saying, for everyone who is here, if there is a way you can help, if there is a possibility or you know someone who can help Congo, it's a good thing to do. As a preacher, we will hope that God will intervene one day and we are going to have freedom in Congo. And the message will be our children to give them hope and continue and continue. Because that one day they are going to get that freedom and enjoy the richest in our country. And I thank our children, the youth really who are thinking about this. One day they will be away and we want to enjoy the freedom in our country. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Chaka. For a moment, I didn't know whether to clap or to say amen, but thank you so much. Right now, we'll be having an item from Mr. Eric Ibishu. This is live music, so it's going to be a special treat. So, are you performing right here? Okay. So, make welcome Mr. Eric Ibishu.
everybody.
Hey there.
That's great. As my pastor said, I don't know which kind of mood am I going to speak in as well, because I'm part of the community which is suffering back in Congo. My name is Eric, as she said, victim and survivor of war in Congo as well. There was a time I felt not moving on, or I saw like life is unfair to me because of the pains of war, through violence and witnessing death. Because of that, when I sat down, I knew that there is a hope in me. And that hope made me to be here tonight. And then when I was sitting home, when they told me that they're going to be this congregation, I wrote a short song about what God has done for me. That hope that I hoped for, even though I was hopeless, but I found hope in Him. That's the short song that I'm going to sing here tonight. suffering right now. He's the only one to defend people who are dying right now. People who are hopeless to find hope in him. My prayer, peace in Congo. My prayer, bring peace in Congo. You are my defense, Jesus, my support. Give me strength and proclaim the power. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Eric. I really felt the cries of distress and a cry of crying out for Congo, and we definitely heard those sentiments echoed, not just through Eric's songs, but also through the words of Pastor Chakra, who spoke before that. And with this same feeling, you know, going forward throughout the evening, I now invite Yasin Kiraga for our keynote speech, and just a short introduction to Yasin. Mr. Yasin holds a BA in Political Science and International Relations from the University of British Columbia. He also holds a Business Management Diploma from University of Rwanda, and also certificate in education, teaching pedagogy with primary, high school, and college students from Jesuit Refugee Services. He's a recipient of multiple awards in Black History and Human Rights, and he's also the founder and CEO of the African Descent Society in BC and the artistic director for the African Descent Festival in BC. This festival helped to pioneer awareness of the United Nations International Decade for People of African Descent, which is between 2015 and 2024. Yasin is the founder and director of the International Decade for People of African Descent and the National Action Plan in Western Canada to combat racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and all intolerance under Canadian heritage in 3 provinces, British Columbia, Alberta, and Quebec. He's an internationally and nationally recognized speaker for the UN International Decade for People of African Descent. With that, I'll invite up Yasin to speak to us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, especially the MC, thank you so much to invite me here. They always say that the great friends, it's difficult to recognize friends, but those friends normally they invite you and you share coffee, tea, the Starbucks, they're really very, very good friends. Think about it. When they invite me, I would like to recognize the organizers of this event, the high calibers they invested in, the time and the skills they have to reach out and come out with just this simple idea. I'm going to show you today why this is a medicine to Africans. I've had the ambassador, General Consulate of Venezuela, speaking here at the podium. I was invited by the President of Venezuela to go in Venezuela to deliver a speech on behalf of the United Nations. They have approved everything to go, but I have a lot of things I do in Vancouver. We made a commitment to go. At this night, I was supposed to be at his office to tell him about what is going on in Venezuela. I was in the General Council, Mr. Alfredo Perez. Alfredo, yes. Wilfredo Perez. Good. So we discussed a number of things. And recently I sent a letter to Venezuela and I told them there is a coup d'etat coming in Venezuela. Few days later, they realized that there was a plan to create problems in Venezuela. Venezuela is a country which I want you to think about today and understand today. There is what you call non-aligned movement. Now means what? Those are countries which were neither first world or second world. And those countries, they were left behind. They formed what we call non-aligned movement to fight for racism, discrimination, colonialism, and imperialism. And I want to tell you tonight that the president of Venezuela, what is his name? Nicolas
Maduro.
Yes, he's the chairperson of non-aligned movement, of which our African countries are part of that. So we are all Africans by nature, and Venezuela recognizing the International Decade for People of African Descent, it is not a mere story. It is the history of 160 years when black people in Americas been engulfed into slavery. We need to think about that, what is going on in Congo. Solomon, when they invited me to talk about this, I thought about one thing, that if God gave me one single night in the life I have, and tell me, Yasin, tell me what you want to see in Africa if I give you more years, 100 years to come. I took my mental flight, and I think about immediately to South America, Jamaica. And I visited the tomb of the great African man, Malcolm X, in Trinidad and Tobago, where his ancestors came from. I went down to Jamaica and I visited the tomb of Max Garvey. And I thought about it and said, I cannot stop here. I came back to the United States to explore the history of enslavement of African Americans for 500 years ago, 400 years, of which the International Decade of People of African Descent is very much targeting for such particular dehumanization. But I did not stop there, even though I visited parts of Georgetown where great men like Dr. Martin Luther King settled down there. I could not satisfied, and I said, let me try to go to Greece. And I visited the great philosophers, Plato, Aristotle, and so many others. And I think about the wisdoms, the democracy, fraternity, human rights they are fighting for. Whether this Greece is the best place for me, God could entrusted me to settle. I couldn't stop there. I decided either to fly to the moon, and I said, let me try to go back to Africa and see how it look like today. If God entrusted me one day in life to settle, what type of gift that God should entrusted to me today. I went to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, the land where hundreds of African leaders have settled in. Since 1963, the foundation of African Union, I didn't find nothing, but one thing that I've realized that even Prophet Muhammad, he was once in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Even Jesus, we know that his family is right there from Ethiopia. I get some little bit of satisfaction. But when I traveled to Congo, South Africa, the history doesn't demonstrate that is the reality of my ancestral land where I could stay and forever. I came back here where I am and I ask one question, that if God gave me one thing in life, it is about the question of governance. And this is what I want to share with you tonight. I was thinking about whether unity cannot come where there is no governance, the science of governance. Governance means deliverance. To deliver, it is a simple word. How many of you, if I give you one piece of bread right now here, be honest, and you can say, yes, Paulo Mlango, divide this bread among the 3 people, and you say, I won't take anything. I'm going to divide it to the rest, I won't take anything. Few of those men that you have seen in history, few of them, and among them was who? Patrice Lumumba in Congo, Nelson Mandela, Max Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, George Padmore. Those were Africans that we need to think about today as we are living the whole. The continent is not distinguished in its good governance of the good of Africa. But without good governance, we cannot eradicate poverty. No corrupt government is interested in eradicating poverty. Think about it. In contrary, as we have seen in many African countries elsewhere, widespread of corruption is in high places, is the bridge for poverty. And that's why Achebe said one time that a black man, when he's in rain, like right now it's raining, and get out of the rain and change the clothes into dry clothes, he won't like to go back in the rain. It is the question the pastor said it here in the podium. When African leaders get out of the rain, none of them is willing to go back. That's why you see the Congolese. That's why you see after immediately independence of Congo, it's the situation what you see. It's the situation you see in Ethiopia, South Sudan. Jamaica has been sold to who? To the Chinese. Trinidad and Tobago, all. The black man is in a chain that he has created himself, and the chain that has created by the imperialists. I therefore thank you so much for the generous introduction that you've made. But the introduction to me, it doesn't matter when my ancestral land, my people globally are still engulfed in a sense of what someone can call psychology schizophrenia, where the African is, the black man, he doesn't understand where he came from and where he's going on, because we've been engulfed into an inescapable chain of racism among ourselves, internal racism among ourselves, segregation among ourselves. We cannot see the value of our communities. We cannot see the value of the African center we have. We cannot celebrate the history that we have. We cannot celebrate anything that we own. But we go to celebrate the Hollywood movies, the Western lifestyle, the Western culture. That is the best way, because we have been taught by the imperialists that something that been produced by an African is actually the third world. It doesn't matter to you. The mental attitude that we brought here, it cannot allow us to get out of into mental slavery. Africans have been dehumanized throughout slavery. Millions of African people have been humiliated into chains of slavery, and that's why the consulate here was addressing that the government of Venezuela on the front line to address those issues. The recent African past has been known wars, famine, underdevelopment and poverty, socio-economic and tribalism. Those are some of the issues that you will see people talking about in the movies. The history of Africa is actually romanticist in the way that Greece, as I already said, that they could not find anything in Greece, but they went down into Africa to learn the African history of Renaissance, the psychology, the philosophy, all those the medicine that they picked out from Africa to come and treat themselves, their societies here. But in 1957, created something more, radical change in Africa. that we all of them embraced that something has come out in Africa. Time is now. Accra, Ghana. That is when a young African who was taught by Caribbeans, Kwame Nkrumah, having been trained, mentored by Caribbeans, I mentioned Max Gavage, George Padmore, and many of them, they sent him back to Africa for one message: go back and fight for the independence. We are behind you. It is indeed that by 1957, Africa was already opened the signs of democracy, human rights, freedom. And those who were in Ghana by that time, you will witness. Kwame Nkrumah said these words: our Ghanaians, the independence meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of Africa. He said it very clear. Today I stand before you. I remember the opening of the words of Kwame Nkrumah once in his speech. He said again that at long last the battle has been ended. The long last the battle has been ended. The battle is now Africa has to fight is the battle of mind, the battle of psychology, the battle of schizophrenia that is being engulfed by Africans themselves. They cannot see the reality which is going on behind them. They cannot see the conflict that has been set up among themselves. They cannot see the attitudes that the Babembe, Hutu, Baganda, and so many. These are the signs that the white man used as a strategy to go through to divide among themselves. Who is free right now here among the African Americans? Who is free among the African Americans when Hoganese are here is now the signs of monuments of the viaduct. When the African American is down, they are still chained into what we call engulfed into slavery, mental slavery. Who is free in Congo when yesterday the African leaders met recently in Rwanda to discuss the issues that are happening in Congo? Who is free when Kagame left Rwanda yesterday to go in Uganda to discuss the issues that are affecting the Congolese? And who is not aware that Rwanda has been the largest supplier of international coltan minerals? Who is not aware of that? How can we leave this house without understanding these issues? That the fact that the mental slavery that we have been engulfed ourselves, who is not aware that Mobutu himself was used by Americans to destroy the entire country under what we call sacrificing Africans to compensate the imperialists? Who is not aware of that Kwame Nkrumah himself was removed out of power under the influence of American CIA and the FBI? And then I think about that. The reality that many Africans regained their independence, particularly by 1960s. Kwame Nkrumah said it absolutely clear. This is the decade for you Africans to get free. I see this house, it is over 50 people here. Africa was founded by how many people? 1919. That's when the decision, W.E.B. Du Bois and the fellow Caribbeans, they met in the United States to discuss the issues happening in apartheid in South Africa. 12. How many can't we stand together here to get Congo free, to get Ethiopia free, to go to Jamaica and tell the Chinese that no, to come back to the United States to say enough is enough, and to go back to Congo to think about to cry together? Because the fact that we have outside the rain, we have put on our dry clothes and we are not actually right now to go back into the rain, to feel sour, to feel that coldness. We cannot be. We cannot be those type of people. But as we are living tonight, let us remember Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, Kasabumi, Moise Sombe, they were all one message. 57, as you have said, what do we see? What have we learned? I like the French people. After 1789 French Revolution, they said the Baboni rulers, we realized nothing. We have learned nothing from the old order. It's time now to take the right action. The French, they are free. Chinese, they are free. They said we don't associate anybody. Venezuela, 164 years, they live in the black people there. Canada is 389 years. The Prime Minister of Canada on February 12, he said we need to learn about the black people. We need to learn about the black people. Prime Minister of Canada, he said we need to learn about black people so that we can create value to help them to get out of the mental health there. We are the majority in prison. Paul Brown has been visiting prisons here. Nobody pays him any single salary. Ask him how many Africans in jail. We are the minority in this country. We are the most educated black people in this country. We are the youngest growing population. We are the majority in jail. This is Canada. Venezuela today is on the process of creating what? Parliament, ministries, schools, institutions for black people when they have lived in Venezuela for 64 years. Are we free? If we are not free, what is happening into the black world? And where do we come from? Where are we going? Where are we today? And how do we move from there? And how do we get there? It's a question all of us to ask. We also need to learn from the younger generations here who have managed to bring us together here. I said we are over 50 people. Those who founded Africa, empirical facts, we are Caribbeans, what we call the modern Africans. We are Caribbeans. They modernized it. This is the fact we need to live here, agree about it. The struggle, Fanoni Fernandez, who knows him? The conflict you see Africans use to fight themselves to get out of colonialism. It was man, they have to kneel down. That is a psychological problem. They could not know that the Congolese, they greet their parents, they go down. They didn't know that we celebrate God through harmony. They said that was a psychological problem. Negrosis, the Negroes. In Latino, Negro means blacks. Today you see Africans themselves calling the title, we are blacker people. You are actually saying we are Negroes, Negrosis. I want to end with a few remarks to remind you that by 1950s, 57, African countries, all of them attended the AFRO Ghana independence celebration. Ivory Coast was there. Kwame Nkrumah was there giving a speech. Ugandan leaders were there. Milton Obote was there. Azi Lumumba was there. He sneaked out of Congo to go. As many Caribbean leaders attended it, South Africans, Nelson Mandela and the West, most of them sent delegates there. But let us take the mental right to think about that. Where is the independence that we gained through the struggle, through collaboration, through unity, through mutual understanding, one attitude, one Africa, one Caribbean? Where is that independence today? It's the fact that African descendant, Caribbean, is a call to the consulate of Venezuela. They call the direct message that we should take to President Nicolas in Venezuela, that the battle is still continuing, and the battle of Africans in the front line to support it. I made it absolutely very clear that there is a coup that United States organizing in Venezuela. It has been there. It's a separate war that people understand. There is a war going on in Congo. There is a war going on in South Sudan just because of one thing. The minerals. Economy, money, dollar. We've been sacrificing ourselves here to fight one another. To leave our culture center for integration of African migrants. To leave those culture institutions to go to celebrate the imperialism, the culture that has actually designed to dismantle our societies, our institutions. And I need to end with one word, that if we want to be free, the African descendants, if we want to be free, if we want to get out of the mental slavery, if we want to be free out of what we call the third world, we need to unite. We need to unite regardless of which tribe you came from, regardless of which country institution is, regardless of which border, where you came from. Just think about Caribbean, they don't have those borders anymore. It is a sixth region of Africa. What about when they come back today, tomorrow to Africa? Where are they gonna go? We need to get rid of those borders that were designed to eliminate us, to divide us. Those borders are still exist here among us ourselves. The Congolese does not recognize a Rwandese, an African, a Ugandan. Uganda does not recognize the Congolese apart from going there to get minerals. This is where we are right now in the 21st century. And as I'm living tonight here today, the direct message, let us unite. Let us unite. Let us be together here in Vancouver. We start here. We can get together. We start from here. We go to Zimbabwe. We go to Namibia. We go to South Africa. From there we cannot wait. We go to Greece, and we cannot wait. We go to United States. Let us unite in the Caribbean. Let us unite back here where we are. When together we combine the forces, we can actually get out of the schizophrenia and see the right that we are one person at last, and we say we are free at last in Congo. We are free at last in Eastern Congo. We are free. Congo is free, and get rid of these dictators.
Because you have those things, and so are the Congolese that die. Because the Congolese that dying for culture is minerals what they are doing in computer or in a cell phone, and in the world there's only in China, Russia, and Congo. China didn't want to sell, and Russia didn't want to sell, and so when you see all those people. Samsung, iPhone, whatever, went to Congo now to display the people for them to get that thing free and you to enjoy about S4, S4, whatever, and you're enjoying the blood of people. And also the car. Why there's a lot of war in Ituri and everywhere is about cobalt. Cobalt also is a mineral where now they wanted to do an electrical car. And that electrical car, they only us to have a 50% of the world cobalt in the world is where now they are doing all those things.
Paul, so what you are saying is one of the root cause of the conflict is about mineral, is economic.
Economic is minerals, because we have, Congo is like a beautiful wife where everybody wants to get it, but not to marry her.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you know.
She must be very beautiful.
Yeah, because everything, and also the development of Africa need to be started from Congo, because Congo is in the center. If you see Africa is like a gun, a revolver, and the gâchette to get is in Congo, because from the north to the south we are going to pass by Congo, to the west, east we are going to pass by Congo. And now also the war with the water. Now they wanted to build a big canal to take the water from the Congo River to go to Chad and to go to everywhere, because now all those parts they are drought. And the reserve, the biggest reserve in water is in Congo. is why you see a lot of problem in Congo. It's not that there's a conflict, it's a man-made things.
So I
they
would
want
like
to display people from Congo, like in Ituri. They discovered that place there's a Lac Albert, there's a petrol and the gas. Now they want to put up people out for them because Congo is a scandal, it's a mineral scandal. Because everything is in Congo. Today you cannot go to the war. You can eat some of grain, and you go to have somewhere there. Tomorrow you're going to see just grow without anything.
Okay, thank you, Paul. I would like to ask Luke Malembe about the origin of the conflict and who is fighting. What can you say, and what Paul said? Do you agree, or do you have something to add? And who are the people who are fighting in Congo?
Thank you for the occasion. I first of all thank the organizers of this event and all the participants. Also, as you know, I'm not strong in English. It could be...
Tu peux parler français? Tu peux parler français, je vais traduire.
Français.
Ouais.
Ah d'accord. Là, ça sera facile pour moi. Alors, je suis tout à fait d'accord avec mon ami Paul qui venait de des raisons économiques. Le conflit qu'on vit, c'est vrai que d'abord...
Okay. Tu peux aller un peu doucement? Je vais traduire. Okay. The conflict, the root cause of the conflict is mostly economic.
Yeah, c'est un conflit artificiel, comme le disait Paul.
It's an artificial conflict, it's a man-made conflict.
Et on sait pourquoi, évidemment, le Congo avec ses ressources et sa position géostratégique au cœur du continent.
And one of the reasons is because of the resources of Congo and the strategic position of Congo in the continent, in the African continent.
Alors, la crise maintenant s'est aggravée avec les refus du président Kabila, qui est arrivé fin de son mandat en décembre 2016 de quitter le pouvoir.
So the crisis gets worse because of the actual president refused to leave his seat.
Alors, comme la Constitution prévoit qu'un président ne peut faire que 2 mandats, et à la fin de ces 2 mandats, il doit céder le pouvoir. Mais il s'est fait que depuis décembre 2016, le président Kabila n'a pas voulu organiser des élections. Et voilà ce qui a encore une fois aggravé une situation sécuritaire qui était déjà grave.
Okay. So, because since 2017, we were expecting an election so that we would have a new president, and because no election was organized, and that's why things are getting worse. Luc, j'aimerais bien aussi, parce que la question qu'on a posée, c'est de savoir pourquoi on se bat au Congo, et on vient avec Paul de comprendre que c'est économique. Alors, moi, en tant qu'Ivoirien, je ne suis pas trop au fait de la communauté, et aussi les Canadiens qui sont ici. Quel est le lien entre le fait que quelqu'un ne veut pas quitter le pouvoir et la crise, le conflit qui a lieu au Congo? Est-ce qu'on se bat pour le poste, pour être président, ou bien on se bat pour les ressources minérales? Okay, my question, I asked Luke, what is the relationship between the fact that the actual president is still in power? So are we fighting for power, or are we fighting for economical reason? So I want him to clarify, to say something about that.
Alors, les deux à la fois. D'abord, la crise n'a pas commencé en 2016 avec les refus du président qui veut quitter le pouvoir. C'est depuis 20 ans que la crise du Congo, depuis l'avènement de Laurent Désiré Kabila avec la terre, et voilà, le Congo n'a plus connu de paix.
Okay. So the root cause of the conflict started 20 years ago with Laurent Désiré Kabila, who get into power, and since then people have been fighting. So it's something that has been around for a long time. Ok. Je vais aussi donner la parole à, on va revenir à toi tout à l'heure. Okay. So I would like to ask Piero about the conflict. Do you have something to add?
Thank you very much. Thank you. My name is Piero, as you heard. I have a lot to talk about the conflict in Congo. I agree with my friends about the conflict being 20 years old, about the power and the resources, but I'll go a little bit further before the colonial, before the slavery, and get to see the roots of the conflict and how it started. To understand the problem of Congo, you need to understand how Congo came to exist. Congo was inhabited by the Pygmy. From North Nigeria came the Bantu, and the Bantu went down to Congo in around 80,000 years ago. The Bantu migrated to the river Congo. They brought with them all kind of technique and technology for agriculture and farming. And they found that Congo was a good place for them to sit and settle. They sat and they chased away the pygmy. By the time Bantu were there, the exploration had started from Asia and Europe to go and see what was on the other side of the world. The people who got first in Congo were the Arabs. The Arabs went there to do trade. They are good at spices, trading, buying and selling. And they were very smart enough to also learn about human trafficking. At the arrival of these people, they found that there was a kingdom in Congo. The Bantu had established kingdom, regions. The political system was in place. There was governors in every place, and there were king at that time. But they did not colonialize. They did not put a colony on any of this country. Instead, the Portuguese came. When the Portuguese got in Congo, they came in the same way as the Arab arrived, and they were doing business. They were being a meter, salt, anything that was of value, and they'll do trade. But because they needed people to carry their stuff, they needed people to do their work, plus the Arabs in there, they start thinking about buying humans. And the king, being powerful, was able to let go the criminals. That's how it started. They thought, well, they're criminals. If we give them, instead of killing them or keeping them in jail, they'll be better off. And this is how the movement started, and they started buying more and more, and innocent people started being sold for money, and they were taken abroad to the United States and many other countries. What happened? The root conflict is when the nobles in the countries thought that that was not a good idea. You cannot steal your own people. You cannot do that. And they saw that the king was in favor of the Arabs and the Portuguese. So they raised up and came up with a movement to fight the king. When they started fighting the king didn't have any option than to take the Portuguese to fight along with him to combat these rebels who were fighting him. The Portuguese got this opportunity. They were stationed in now today Angola. They took this opportunity to fight with the king, and they got all the place. They occupied the place. Once they got it, that was it. And that's when the problem of Congo started, 1800 ago.
It's very, very insightful
1800
about the history and how all this started. But we want to have some time so that people will ask questions. Okay? I guess a lot of people here would like to ask questions. Is that right? Am I right? So if you like to ask questions, can you raise your hand so that we'll see how many people would like to ask questions? Okay. So let's go very quickly on another side of the topic is the repression and the displacement. What can you say, Paul, about the scale of the damage, how many people are being killed, and what can you say? Can you say something about the displacement, the repression, and the scale of the damage in the region? Luke, Malembé.
Ok. Alors, par rapport...
Est-ce que tu m'as compris? Tu as compris ma question?
Oui.
Oui.
Oui, j'ai compris. Alors, vous voulez qu'on parle de la répression
oui.
Et aussi des déplacements massifs de la population.
Oui.
Alors, en fait, depuis 2016, comme je disais, avec la fin du mandat du président actuel, des mouvements de contestation sont nés de partout, notamment de l'opposition, des mouvements citoyens, de la société civile et même de l'Église catholique.
So, since the crisis started and the president didn't want to go, a lot of movement gave rise. So the Catholic Church, also the opposition, they are also in the street fighting to have something different, to ask for a better life for the population. Continue.
Alors, le régime actuel a multiplié aussi des stratégies justement pour se maintenir par la force. Alors, désormais, toutes les manifestations ont été interdites alors que la Constitution garantit les libertés de manifestation, les libertés d'expression et de conscience.
So the actual government has come up with strategies to stay in power for long, and all opposition or any movement would be brutally fight by the government. So people are not free to say anything against the government.
Alors, c'est comme ça que si vous allez en prison aujourd'hui, c'est beaucoup de personnes qui sont arrêtées, qui croupissent en prison, condamnées, les autres sont forcés à l'exil, les autres sont menacés chaque jour qui passe, simplement parce qu'ils expriment ou un avis contraire ou ils critiquent la gestion actuelle du pays.
So actually, because of that, there are a lot of people who have left the country. A lot of people are refugees, went to exile. So, and a lot of people are in jail. Okay, if you don't agree with the actual government, they will put you in jail. Okay. Je vais donner aussi la parole à ceux qui sont ici. J'aimerais, est-ce que tu peux nous dire combien de millions de déplacés? Est-ce que tu as une idée? Et aussi, les personnes ici vont nous donner aussi.
Oui, par rapport au déplacement maintenant massif des populations, il y a trois crises qui ont secoué le pays depuis 2-3 ans. Donc il y a la crise de Béni dans le nord Kivu, il y a la crise au Qatar, c'est au centre du Congo, et la crise actuelle en Ituri où je suis dans le nord-est du pays.
Okay. So actually we have three crises, one in Buni, and the second one in Ituri, and we have another one in the center of the country. Which area is that?
Kasai.
In the Kasai. So we have three crises. And, okay, so on va revenir à toi. J'aimerais bien donner aussi la parole à nos panélistes. Paul, qu'est-ce que tu peux nous dire, qu'est-ce que vous pouvez dire par rapport à la répression, au déplacement et à la crise?
Like what he's saying, because the crisis didn't really start now. It started a long time with Roi Leopold II. It was the crisis with, during the Roi Leopold II, there was a crisis with the invention of cars, and then they're supposed to do the rubber, to do all the things for the car. And during that time, it started the crisis. If you don't do very well with the rubber, they cut your hand. You know, the crisis for rubber. After that, it became the crisis of independence. At the time of the independence, a lot of people from diaspora went to study abroad in Europe. And the time they was in Europe, they just say, oh, there's something going bad here. You need to have political independence. After that, with Mobutu, it became the copper mine. The type of copper mine, the Americans during that time, and also during the Second World War, and the bomb, the Iranian bomb, the bomb in Japan. That things came from Congo in Katanga province. You understand? It's always tiny, and that Mobutu, the American, they were using him for copper, for making gun, and also the bomb. Understand? And become a crisis. Now the time the American didn't want Mobutu anymore, and there's that flew off there with Kabila, didn't know even what he was doing. And after that time, it was not really, it was just a changing, because Mobutu was sick, they wanted change. After the Kabila, because also Kabila didn't want to agree a lot of things, and then soi-disant, whatever they say, the son came in. And the time the Kabila son came in, and it's not really, because in Africa, no indigenous African become a president, because all the president they are unknown people.
Thank you, Paul.
You understand? Okay. And the time Kabila came, now there's a problem with coltan and cobalt, that they need to use somebody who can give them for free. And it's where now they're using that guy to give all those things for free. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now we have almost 5 minutes for question, but can we?
5 minutes left for the panel.
5 minutes left for the panel. Okay.
Can I say something before?
Yeah, but I would like also to, because we are talking about the crisis, I want you also to think about solution. How can we solve this crisis? And what do you expect us here, as a Canadian, as a friend of Congo? What do you expect us to do? And can you talk about some way we can solve this crisis?
No problem. Before I talk about the solution, I'll just give you a summary of what I think is the problem. Then I'll come up with the consequence of displacement, if you don't mind.
Okay, we have to go 1 minute.
We've missed that. We need to know that the problem that Congo is facing today is rooted in slavery of the Arabs and the colonial. And the invasion of Congo by Rwanda, Uganda, and their allies, the Americans, is the problem that is rooted from the oil mining and the mineral that we have. The most things that really hurt is how they stole the language and brought us a new language, so that we can only think and use that language and not our own. And today we cannot even talk our own language. If I come to the consequence of the displacement, we cannot talk about it without talking about millions of people who were killed during Leopold II. Nobody talk about it. They deny it, but it's there. When we come to the 1996 war, we see how Rwanda came to Congo and they slaughtered millions. There's force of millions, and the United States has proof of that, but nobody's talking about it. The M23 got there, they're doing their things, and they're still killing. Nobody's talking about it. Today we have Congolese all over the world being mistreated because they have no home to stay.
Thank you, Piero. So, so last solution, or what do you expect from the Canadian government or the Canadian citizen or a friend of Congo? We are here, we love Congo, we want this crisis to end. And look, Malembe, what can we do, or what be some of the solutions you think can end this crisis? And what can we do to better the lives of people in Congo?
Alors, merci. Dans mes recherches, dans mes petites recherches, j'ai énuméré plus de 50 entreprises canadiennes qui sont impliquées dans l'exploitation, parfois illégale ou illicite, des ressources naturelles congolaises, notamment de l'or, du cuivre, du cobalt, du diamant. Alors,
okay, let me translate this one. So, based on his own research, he has found out we have more than 50 Canadian companies are involved in the extraction of doing mining in Congo.
Alors, pas certain nombre de ces entreprises existent dans la ville de Vancouver où vous pouvez maintenant.
And some of these companies come from Vancouver. I don't know. Is there anybody working for this company here? Oui, continue.
Alors, notre demande est que vous, les jeunes Canadiens, pour nous, parce qu'à la fin nous partageons la même humanité, nous avons les mêmes ambitions en tant que jeunes, nous vous demandons de peser sur ces entreprises, de peser sur le gouvernement canadien pour les rappeler qu'on ne doit pas s'enrichir sur les sangs des innocents au Congo.
So what Luke is saying is, since we have a lot of Canadian companies involved in what is going on in Congo, so he expects us to intervene to the government of Canada, and also particularly the youth, to create awareness and also have some political influence to change things.
Alors aussi, comme les amis Paul le disait, d'accord, on est d'accord pour la colonisation, les Rwanda, l'Ouganda et tout, mais je voudrais que vous compreniez qu'au Congo aujourd'hui, il y a une jeunesse qui n'est plus là à se plaindre ou à culpabiliser tel ou tel. Nous devons aller de l'avant. À la fin, ce qui se passe dans notre pays, c'est aussi à un moment donné la faiblesse de notre propre population ou de nous-mêmes Congolais et de nos institutions. C'est comme ça que les Américains, les Rwandais, les Ougandais peuvent venir et voler tout ce qu'ils veulent. Pourquoi ils ne les feraient pas, par exemple, en Russie? Pourquoi ils ne les feraient pas en Chine? C'est parce que chez nous, il y a quand même une faiblesse et nous, la jeunesse aujourd'hui, nous ne sommes plus là pour le Niger. Nous avons décidé de nous battre pour obtenir le destin de notre pays.
Luke is saying, he said, talking about the historical causes of the conflict is good, but from his point of view, he think one of the reasons we are in war is because of their own weaknesses, especially the younger generation. They are fighting each other, and it comes from them. So they have to also look inside themselves to find the solution, and also to be honest with themselves and say maybe we are also part of the problem.
Donc nous allons nous battre et ceux qui aiment le Congo, des amis du Congo comme vous, aidez-nous à obtenir le destin de notre pays. Mais soyez assurés que nous battons, nous n'allons pas continuer à pleurnicher, à nous plaindre. Nous avons décidé de nous battre et obtenir l'indépendance de notre pays.
And he's asking you to help as a Canadian. He's asking you to help Congo to solve this crisis, and they will not, cry all the time. They will also fight. They are doing their part. They are fighting. They are using all means possible to solve this problem. And he's expecting you, Canadian, the younger generation, to support the fight, and so that one day Congo will be free. Thank you very much, Luke. So, Paul?
Who's coming from Congo here? Who's Congolese? You can imagine, we are almost 6,000 family, Congolese family. But with this awareness, there's really none. Who is studying at the university is Congolese. SFU. In 1960s, the people went to study in Europe. They brought the political ignorance. But now, all of us came here. We are brought in just shoes and dressing and insult than taking something. You can see what Lucas said. It's about one day, if our young generation, what Congolese who can stand up and say, today around 12, no cell phone. Crying about no one can take a cell phone. We're going to see a lot of things starting changing. Because if we're here, we're just two, we say, who's that? Who's that? The things is damaging is the diaspora, is not a very strong diaspora. If the day we are going to have a black, strong diaspora, you're going to see that things are going to change. Because you're fighting among each other for really nothing. Because if you start me here, you're going to say, who's that? Oh, Paul Moulin, I give money, our money. All of time is always our money. We don't even know where your money goes from. Because nobody, you can see, he said there's a lot of companies here that are doing things in Congo. There's none of the students even do a research. You're talking about intellectual. You don't even have intellectual in Congo. Because there's no research. Because if somebody started to say, today, you can see he's in Congo, he knows about those companies. AFRO knows about those companies here. But the people here, there's none. Even today you can say, okay, let's come together to say, okay, today you are going to do this action in Vancouver. You are going to see. It come from where? No. It come from where? It's among ourselves.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you. So I think one of the reasons we are having this discussion is to have an action plan. Okay. Now that we know Canadian has a lot of stake in what is going on in Congo, maybe from there we can, have an action plan and try to, change things. So thank you very much, Luke, and thank you, Paul. So next, thank you, Piero. Next, so it's your turn to ask questions. So I want you to, give a good So we have questions. So I see. How many times do we have for questions?
We have 10 minutes.
Okay, we have 10 minutes for questions. So you have to be to the point. Okay. Yes.
Prophet, Doctor, thank you so much. Mr. Pomlango, what he said, actually, I think it is the concluding point of this discussion.
We have a lot. I want to maybe yes. What Mr. Pomlango said here, I just need people to think about it, student and everyone in this. It's the most important of this discussion. I just give an example, the Venezuelan community, Vancouver, Venezuela, Cuba Solidarity Organization. Who read this organization? Very young student, Mlango, you know them, you know Tamara. Cuba and Venezuela, they are known in Canada everywhere because of these younger kids. You cannot break them. The African population we have here, student, we still living in the mentality that we are younger student. We are student. The mom you see here, she's the mother of Elisa Elbert, the movie star. She's the her daughter was a Miss Vancouver. Africans, if we have these type of people here, like Idris, like the Sabrina, and we get them here together, can't we solve the problem that happening in Congo, or creating awareness of this problem? What is the role, Pom Lambo, the role of African Union and African Standby Force, the army that they created, and also Malembe? What is the role of African Union and the African Standby Force to eliminate the decayed conflict in Congo? Thanks.
So who would like to react on this question?
Like I said, everything is started. You need to know the root cause, and you need to stand and study and to see, because a lot of people go to school to memorize, and they get 100% after saying I'm intellectual. Never write even any single book. Never write even any single thing, and they claim to tell us that, oh, as well intellectual. Intellectual is the people who do the research, and the people who write, and the people can stand to say, okay, there's something. And the day the African Union is our kid, because you brought our kid here not to come to eat McDonald's. It's to come to learn a good English, and to get that good English, and to know how to do things. May our kid came here, first of all, to eat McDonald's, to dress, and to do their conflict. They took their lies of their parents. You know, if your parents start and say lies, and you also started coming to those lies. And then, if they are our kid one day, they can stood to say, enough is enough, because now we are going to do something. Go to university to study about your country, not to study about memorizing. Go to country to say, I'm going to do a master degree about the conflict of Congo. I'm going to do my research about this. I'm going to give you an example. CIDA. CIDA is Canadian Development where a lot of white people, one time I was one white people, he went to Tanzania and said 3 months, and said he had experience in African. Oh, you have experience here. He said, me I'm here 15 years. I don't even have a Canadian experience. I speak French and English. May you don't even speak Swahili, and you tell me that you have experience for 3 months? And also, they go there. The time they go there in Congo, you know what to do? Starting fighting the small girls. And the time they do even nothing, and they come here with no reports. I have the report here.
Thank you very much.
Where all those students, they could suppose to go to CIDA to say, I'm Canadian Congolese, I need to go there to work.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Paul. So, another question? Okay, your question is for Paul or for Luke or?
It's for the whole panel.
For the whole panel. Okay.
I'm an advocate for change comes to action. So, like knowing these companies that are affiliated with Canadian economy, can we say have a drastic measure by strike? By bringing strike twice a month for these companies?
Yes.
Where we let them know, or let ourselves make a statement, or we want change to be done.
Okay, so you are suggesting a solution, a way to change things.
Exactly.
So you suggest a strike.
Exactly.
Okay, I hear somebody say yes, let's do it.
Exactly.
Did I hear something like that? Okay, so this is one way to bring change, a strike. I know this way we do it in a working environment.
It's diplomatic, and it's not really we call it a violent means. It's through diplomatic means, where we go with the constitution and whatever they have, the laws of government or whatever country we're in, and we use those means to make our voice to be heard.
Okay. So what do you think? I think is, what do you agree? Do you share his opinion?
Yeah, I think I have something to talk about striking in terms of looking for solution. First of all, I'll let you know that it's very difficult for us to strike when we cannot meet to talk about what is facing us. Because when we call people to go out, nobody's going to come out. So we need to start briefly to start talking about issues that concern us and not leaving our own community and associate with other community and not thinking that we are part of that community. Why I'm saying that? Because the minute an African leaves Africa and they get here, as my friend was saying here, when he's not talking, the mentality is that you can only get help from a white guy. You come here, you think they have money, they have a lot, they are donors, and they're just gonna sit down, they'll give you everything. So that's a wrong idea. We need to tell the children about the history of Africa and why they need to learn about their own issues. So that when we ask them, when we call them out, they will come out and talk about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I think we are running out of time. I don't know, is this, can we have a last question?
Make it short.
Okay. Who would like to? Okay, no more questions. Okay, no more questions. Thank you very much.
The federal government is making the action plan for youth. They wanted to have the youth ambassador, the Black African youth ambassador. Please, let's get together and do the action plan in which way we are going to integrate in Canada. Like I tell King Solomon, all of you, after SFU, you are going to go McDonald's. It's a shame. Yeah, you are going to work in McDonald's, and you are going to come, and you are going to start going everywhere, and tomorrow you are going to be in prison. Because if you're in school, you need to learn how to do volunteer. If you're doing volunteer, it's almost your African organization. It can help you how to do things, man. You are there, I don't have time, tomorrow I'm going to see you at Fusion Festival doing volunteer and give you nothing. And for the reference, you are going to call Paul Mulango to give you the reference. Doesn't make sense.
Thank you very much, Paul. Okay, so to finish, since Luke Maleme is far from here, I want to give you the last word. You have 1 minute. Give you 30 seconds to say something.
Okay, as you know, in Ethiopia where I am, we have one of the deadliest crises of Congo, and more than 300,000 displaced, and these people are living in serious difficulty. I don't know what we can do to help the situation, because the government, the national government is not able to take these people, I mean, to help their situation. They don't have anything. Many times they sleep even back on ground. They have nothing to eat. You see, so I was wondering, especially the diaspora of Congo, you have also to do something, as Paul was saying. You have to organize yourself and do something for your country. Here on ground, we are doing what we can with our means, of course, and but always we need help of everybody. The Congo crisis for now is having more than 4 million displaced and refugees. 4 million displaced and refugees, you see, it's one of the great crises of the world today. And we must do everything, whatever we can. Everybody must do whatever we can, as I said, for young Canadians. Do something. Question on these companies, Canadian companies involved in exploitation of gold and the diamond and everything here.
Thank you.
Do also something for your government. Question for your government to do something. And I think if everybody is involved, we can save these millions of people who are dying. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Before he goes away, I always stand up for causes and try to find solution. And sometimes I do it myself with my son. And I have boxes of used children cloth. If anybody wants to join hand with me, we'll be able to send some clothes for these children.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate a lot. I would like to thank the African student from SFU for having me being part of this. It's a very, very insightful discussion. And I would like to encourage you to continue. I think this is part of the solution. And where is King? Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate a lot what you are doing for the community. And anytime you need help, support, we are here to support you. And we want you to keep doing what you are doing right now. Thank you very much. Thank you for Paul, thank you Piero, and thank you Luc. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to the panel moderator and the panelists. It was a very insightful discussion, and I'm sure we all learned a lot. And I'm more so, I'm even more sure that we are excited to go out into our communities, go out on social media, and to stir up some awareness and to stir up some activism about this cause, because there are too many people dying and there are too many refugees for this crisis to go unheard. So I want to encourage everyone to go out and do something, not just listen, but do something. So we're wrapping up the event. We have 2 more items. The final item, per se, is a song from Yvonne Couchet, and afterwards we'll be having the vote of thanks. So I appreciate your patience while you bear with us, and as a gift or treat for your patience, there will be donuts at the back. So, but you have to stay to get the donuts. Okay, so and on that of Yvonne,
so Paul will not like
to say. She'll be. I think she'll be singing without the use of a microphone, so you have to be really quiet.
Wow.
Okay. Without?
We'll see.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be here with you and to stand with Congo, to stand with Ituri, to stand with Africa, really. After what everyone has said, I really feel like the song that I'm about to perform might be contradictory, but I'd like to remind you that Congo is not what is happening to her right now. That is what is happening to Congo, but that's not who she is, you know. And so many times we hear about Africa and all the things that are happening in Africa, but that's not what Africa is. That's not who Africa is. So remind yourself that way we know what to fight for, who we are, and that is not who we are. Thank you, Luke. I dedicate this song to you because you're doing a lot there. This song is dedicated to you and whoever is sitting with you in there. Here goes. I wanna take you to Africa. You said enough of your America. I wanna take you down to Africa. You've had enough of this America. In Africa, we feed our men with the very best. No cheeseburgers, no fries. No, my mama wouldn't let you eat that junk. She'd say, son, welcome to the world where what you eat comes from the ground and straight to your plate. Karibu nyumbani, baby. I wanna take you to Africa. You said enough of your America. Come on, guys, help me. I wanna take you down to Africa. You've had enough of this America. I wanna take you to Africa. You've had enough of this America. Come on. I wanna take you back to Africa. You said enough of your America. I meet your bride, baby. But this land is free. This land is pure. This land is for you and me, okay?
Yeah.
You and me, baby. I am gonna take you down to the marketplace, you've heard? So you can buy a chitenje, kupara muka, chiruhura, ora musye, mama papa. Ready for the chorus? I wanna take you to Africa. You said enough of your America. I wanna take you, but it's not Africa. You said enough of your America. I wanna take you back to Africa. You've had enough of this America. That's it. Having done that, I want to remind you, Africans here, this is not home. Okay? This is not home. Home is where, do not forget that. This is home. They say home is where your heart is, and it's true. We can make this a home. We can make a home anywhere, but at the end of the day, that is home, so we have to protect our home, okay? Also, look, I don't know if you have like a fundraiser going on, maybe how do you call it? GoFundMe or something. I'd like to donate $100. That's all I can afford right now. And I call upon all of you here. You listen to my music for free, please. Fundraise, where's the money? Okay, where's the money? You listen to my music for free. That money, whatever money you give me now is going to look, so please. Okay? And if you want to buy my music too, you can talk to me nicely. And the proceeds can go to look at whatever he's doing. So thank you so much for being.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. And you said you didn't want to sing.
Yvonne is Miss North America, Vancouver.
Exactly. I think you're Miss Uganda.
Miss
Uganda, North America. That's Black Girl Magic right there. If you don't have an agent, you can see me after the event.
This is the mother of Sabrina, Miss in Vancouver, who is the wife of Elisa Elba, the movie star.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So thank you so much for staying with us till the very end of our event. And now invite our Adi to the vote of thanks. No one clapped for Adi.
Honorable guests,
respected panelists, forum participants, performers, organizations, partners of our most valued invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to have been asked to give a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, Ejinayomi Mimiko, on behalf of the SFU African Student Association, the Voice of Ituri, the SFU students of Caribbean and African descent, and African ancestry, and the African Descent Society, we'd like to extend our sincere gratitude to the panelists, Luke Malembe, all the way in Congo, Mr. Paul Molango for highlighting and raising awareness of these important issues and engaging in the important conversation on the crisis in Congo, and for bringing their experiences to us. And I'd like to thank our panelists, Jermaine Tano, for facilitating the panel and producing such an amazing and well-run session. We would like to thank Pastor Shaka for his testimony at the beginning, and representative of the Venezuelan consulate, Tatiana.
Thank you.
We also like to thank Yasin Karaga for his amazing speech at the beginning, and Yasin has been very instrumental in the organizing events for the African Students Association and the students of Caribbean. And he has contributed greatly to the African Descent organizations at home and abroad. We also like to thank our amazing performers who did an amazing job. Fabulous singer Mike Augusto, Eric Bishu, and Miss Africa. Finally, I would like to thank the Simon Fraser Student Society, the representative of the Venezuelan Consulate, the Center for African Immigrants Integration, and members of the Congolese community in British Columbia. We thank you for providing your support, for giving us help, and for helping us to organize this event. In closing, I would like to thank all members of the African Student Association, Voice of Ituri, students of Caribbean and African descent, for putting this event together, and all the volunteers who helped in arranging tables, arranging chairs, and making everything happen. And finally, most importantly, I would like to thank you, the audience, because without you, this event would not be possible. So thank you once again. To follow SFU, African Student Association, students of Caribbean, African descent, Facebook, and if you also want to be added to our mailing list, you can see me or see him, Joseph, or see all the any of the executive, King Solomon, and about getting added to our mailing list. Thank you.
Before we go, I just also wanted to say thank you to Solomon. King Solomon has been tremendous. Thank you so much. He's a very humble guy, always sits at the back. But thank you so much, Solomon. Without you, this would not have happened. Thank you, Kevoni, for facilitating and being an MC. And thanks to the soccer president, Giovanni, was also here. He gave us a lot of support. And a lot of everyone who has been able to be here to this late night. Thank you so much. And yes, the struggle continues, and we are going to keep grinding. Thank you so much.
Just want to ask you some few questions about the Voice of Ituri. Are you ready? My name is Piro, AFRO Canadian Community TV, and I'm here with you. We just attended this gathering, and I'd like to know from a point of view and a little bit of information on when did you start this student organization?
Yeah, so first of all, there are two organizations. There is Voice of Ituri and the African Student Association. The African Student Association has been in place since, I think, 2000, before I joined the system. So I think since 2011. And the Voice of Ituri was created last year in 2017 in April, so it's almost 1 year. So the African Student Association is an African student movement that represents the interests of the people of African descent at SFU. So what we do host events, festivals, conferences such as this one, discussions, and we do sign petitions and do those kinds of things. So the Voice of Ituri is different. The Voice of Ituri was founded by myself and some of my SFU colleagues. So what we do is promote journalism and media. So you are work. We do it in a very thank you so much. So we do your work, we promote your work in a hostile environment. So one of the things that we founded was Bring Actuality. So the media group that Mr. Luke Malem leads is the president of that website. So I know you from the community and share with you. And we'll judge for yourself as a journalist what your colleague is doing back home. So Bring Actuality is actually one of the most popular media platforms in Eastern Congo. I think the only news site in Congo. So it is we initiated that, and we are doing the camera project with we are partnering with MONUSCO. So we are trying to find a reconnaissance system to help MONUSCO and the Congolese government to work with militias, to work in raising villagers, people in the villages, especially in South Kivu and North Kivu provinces, the DRC. And another thing we are doing is we are trying to mobilize conferences such as this one, more of this in terms of like trying to sign petition, pressure the government, try to mobilize student organizations, influence how governments set its foreign policy vis-a-vis especially the Canadian government. So we are trying what we do, we work with African student associations such as SFU's or UBC African Awareness Initiative to create an awareness of the crisis that's happening. So and another thing is we participate in festivals because we are in Vancouver, right? We are Congolese organization, but we also try to do things that's happening in the community. So we participate in festivals such as the African Descent Festival that happened last year, and it's happening last year. So we do that.
Thank you very much for the long details. So the way I understand it's you have the Voice of Ituri and you have the student organizations that is working on behalf of the African descent. In terms of the Voice of Ituri, how much support are you getting in the Congolese community so far?
That's a very interesting question, Mr. Pierrot. We are not getting any support yet. And also, I think the mistake is on our side. We haven't reached out to the Congolese community. I haven't talked to you about this, but I usually talk to Mulangu. We have a problem. African student movement do a lot of good operation, noble operation. We have a lot of talents. I can tell you this as a student. In universities, the people you see around are very talented. You find people in marketing. So what we do, what the problem is, we are just doing a lot of operation on campuses, and we are not outreaching the community. So that's a bad thing. It's hindering our progress. It's an impediment. It's an obstacle. So as for the Voice of Ituri, we found ourselves in the same conundrum. We are working at SFU. We have it's a student group. We do a lot of activities and we are very active. We have a lot of assignments and we get them done, but we don't reach out to the communities. For example, the Congolese community in British Columbia, all the Congolese diaspora, we don't do that. So
when are you planning the next event?
We are planning the next event will be, I think, in May. We want to do a very big music. I want to call Mr. Eric. I want to work to reach out to you as well because we have the media house here, so we are almost doing the same thing so that we can do a bigger fundraising for camera projects and because at the Voice of Ituri we are a young organization, we don't have equipment.